Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Belinda. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Cement hit 8,800 naira as cost of building materials skyrocketed. What's the reaction on this?
It was more than that before now. I remember there was a time that cement was sold at 11,000 naira per bag. So if it's at 8,000 and we're talking now, why didn't we talk before? The Nigerian cement industry thrives on monopoly. And when the BPE, the government of Nigeria sold off all the federal owned cement factories, and the individuals in this country bought them, what do we expect? And to think about the exchange rate and all, everything about our economy is controlled by the exchange rate. So this is what we get. It's even people who have money to build now that are worried about cement. God knows the last thing in my mind is about cement. I'm thinking about how to eat. A majority of Nigerians are thinking about how to eat. But some of them that have money that want to build are worried about cement. I mean, it's only a living person that will build and think about. But the worst is that we cannot overrule and think that wish it away. Even people who have building collapsing. So if you have a structural deficiency in your building, you can't even amend. Assuming some organization, the people in charge now say this building has a structural deficiency and need to be reinforced. You can't even buy cement. And think about it, things surrounding cement. We have heard of a fake cement making waves, and even the quality of the cement is no more. So, and the people who are using it to make blocks, you find they just put sand together with fake cement, and we're wondering why houses are collapsing. We clearly have an environment in Nigeria that have made everything we are doing here a failure. So it's like we clearly plan to fail as a nation. Everything is against us. And let's say, God forbid. And we should look at it. So for those who have money to buy cement, think about building that. My heart goes for them. But the majority of Nigerians who can't even buy a mudu of gari, a penta of beans, at 12,000 naira, going to 15 in this era of in this season of Christmas and celebration, end of the year. So what do you think about them? So, well, because it's a headline and I'm here to review, that's why I'm talking about it. Otherwise, if you ask me, my concern now is not about cement. It's how to feed and be alive. And most Nigerians are in that difficulty, that quagmire. They can't feed. If you imagine what is going on in the homes of Nigerians, you won't be thinking about cement. So for them, like I've told them, 8,000 naira. That's so cheap. Make cement 20,000 naira. Make fuel, that is all we are crying at 1,000. Put them at 5. These are only things that will make Nigeria get enough money to survive. Remember, anybody who eats his brother or sister for dinner has gone to bed on an empty stomach. We have government in Nigeria that are taxing Nigeria, receiving, if what is left is the little blood we have in us, just to dry it off. Because the government is not looking at the economy. There's headline everywhere, tax bill, tax bill, tax bill. The government is doing all. Even when the state governments are saying, pull down on tax, everybody still the government will. And why is it, as we're talking about tax, this present government, we have noticed, you have seen, the only way is to increase fuel money, increase tax, in all ramifications of it. That's where they have money to run. And maintain the highfalutin budget we have given ourselves. There's no other arrangement. And this taxing thing is the international community, all these IMF, World Bank, and all the international community we borrow money from, are killing us. They've tied the noose around our neck. We are dying because the only way you can maintain debt is to tax. And in a country that is taxed so much and underdevelopment, cannot go anywhere. You just become standstill. Industries cannot thrive. The little money you have, you tax people to pay debt you have borrowed. And we keep borrowing. And those people are still giving us money, and they are putting high interest, encouraging the government of Nigeria to tax its people. Is going to be, it's like double wahala for dead body. That's all I say about that.
Lukarawa is threatening Sokoto and Kebbi, and the people there are asking the Chief of Army Staff to assist them in flushing them away. And
What
the
will
Chief
they
of Army
ask?
Staff is
What do you expect them to do?
is going around meeting with them and asking for collaboration and support.
They began to cry very early. There's a lady story I know, I don't know how true is it, that saw that there's a new terror group and went to report, and the person is arrested and is incarcerated. So they say, see something, report something, but somebody has reported this. But that's by the way. What we are talking about is Rukarawas are here now. If the federal government do not do all they can to fight this now, it will grow again. We do it with kid gloves. It will grow again into another BH we have, and all the bandits and terror groups that are bound in Nigeria, it will be too many terror groups for one small Nigeria. And you know what that means? Nigerians will be bleeding every day. We're counting figures. Already 15 people in one location has been killed by the same new terror groups. And you imagine, they've not even landed and they've killed 15 people. And they just say they are new. Just imagine when they consolidate and grow. So the federal government are like the states are involved, and they're all crying and making, and the Chief of Army Staff is already in Sokoto to do, but I will trust Nigerian Army, and we still salute their gallantry and the sacrifice they are making to save Nigeria. But more need to be done. Whoever has a hand in this, that is sabotaging Nigeria, getting involved in sponsoring terror groups and doing this, in the name of God, in the name of God, in the name of all things pure and holy, I plead with you on behalf of Nigerians. We have destroyed the human lives in Nigeria for too long. And I believe that part of what we are suffering, that God is punishing Nigeria because of blood of innocent Nigerians that have been wasted and nobody's accounted for it. For how long can this happen to us? So we wish the Nigerian Army and all the security agencies all the support we can give them, but we let them not give up, because it's not over until it's over. Nigeria needs to be reclaimed as a territory and a nation we can all be proud of. The state debt hit 11.4 trillion as federal allocation rises. That's the shouting headline on Punch, Charles. States, their debt profile is at 11.4 trillion as at this morning. Then there's more of my friend that used this word. He said, "Kafunefune dieto afunefuna yadiara." Then the states are owing this much. How much is the mother of all the state federal government? Maybe by tomorrow, the debt profile of federal government we'll see. And you see how Punch makes it very, very creative. The debt profile is hitting 11.4 trillion and the federal government allocation is rising. What a contradiction. Using paper to cure madness. And we say we have economic planners in Nigeria who are seeing this situation and are moving on. Now this leg, now I'm going to take rich Umuahia. I'm telling Nigerians, every day this headline, it's good we are looking at the headlines because it's telling us that brace up. It's not yet over. It's not yet to huru. There are issues. And it's like every day the multiplier effect of these issues are giving room to so many others.
But the debt profile of the federal government is looking good according to the books, given that it has stopped the subsidy payments. And it has removed subsidy, so it's no longer paying.
I like what you said. And so according to the books.
Yeah.
Good.
So according to the last, statement made by the federal government,
it looks good.
Like our debts to GDP ratio, it came down from 97% to 65%, and it's projected to even go lower, in the first quarter of 2025. So it then means that the debt profile of the federal government is looking good, and it means also that IMF is happy, World Bank is happy, and they were willing to even give monies to Nigeria more, given that they have done what they've asked Nigerians to do.
You know, it's a relative fact when you say debt looking good. If, Charles, you have 1 billion naira and you owe somebody 100 naira, your debt profile is fantastic. It's not when you do not have. My father-in-law told me, if you don't have 10 naira, when 10 naira enter, you go. Nigerians do not have money. If you don't have 10 in the house, when 10 enters, goes. So don't compare us. Because Nigeria do not have anything to depend on. And you're talking about debt profile that has dropped from 97 to 7. And these are figures, papers they take to his brain. It's mind bending. The actual fact is that when Obi go army finish, where is his boot? After our debt profile has returned to 6-7%, how has it affected and has it stopped anything?
Well, the monies are used to pay.
Then that's what I'm saying.
That's the reason why it hasn't come this way. It is still being used to service debt. You know, we're owing so much under Buhari. Buhari just went out to borrow, and under Buhari, we were even told that we were borrowing to pay salaries.
Exactly.
So
have we stopped borrowing to pay salaries? Have we stopped borrowing to service our pensions attitude to luxury? There's no sacrifice we're seeing at all levels of the government. If you say you want to reduce debt profile and you're increasing it indirectly by your attitude and things you spend money on, and you talk about IMF and the World Bank being happy with our debt profile, those ones will always be happy with you. And they are the ones who are putting us in this quagmire, pulling us like pawns in a chessboard of international economic satanic capitalism. And that's where we are. So I don't even think about them. I'm only saying debt profile is relative. If I have 20 naira and I'm owing 1 kobo, my debt profile is fine. It means that any time I can pay. It's not when the generation of unborn Nigerians are in debt. And anything we manage to squeeze out of Nigerians through this, our policies, we use it to pay debt. In Anruana, are we moving forward or backward? That means we will run all these sacrifices and still stay 1 point, not moving anywhere. So I'm still worried. On paper, it looks, everybody is telling you what bank is, your profile looks good. It is not good. Better tell ourselves the truth. Because it's only when we tell ourselves the truth that this is not, let them not be playing for us, because these ones, they will play for you because you see your girlfriend is beautiful. You go and climb Odala tree that they put juju in. That's what the IMF and this would be playing for Nigeria. Playing for you. He said those people are your advisors. Come back and look at 200 million Nigerians and their lifestyle and their status of the economic status. That's what you'll be using at any time as your template for any negotiation. It's not about all those at level where they operate and they don't feel this pain. I've always used this proverb. When you remove flesh from the body of a dog, show it to the dog. He will bite you. Whatever you're doing for Nigeria, we don't even understand what's happening. Every day we see hardship. Every day we see hardship. You're promising us. The same international organization, the World Bank, has told us that Tinubu's policy will mature in 15 years. Is that not death sentence? It's worse. It's like a full life sentence. It's not. Because if you are giving somebody 6 months, 3 months in jail or option of fine, the person will look at positive. But it's 15 years. You know how many decades? A decade and a half. For what you are doing for us now, all this bleeding blood, that means there will be no single blood left in us after 15 years. And then how do we enjoy the dividend of all this policy? So it's within CBI, it's bring head, it take head. I don't believe in all this international community and what they are doing for us. We have to look within and start seeing how we solve this problem. We must look at our paying chances for useless spending. No matter how they look at you, want to justify, some expenses are not justifiable in Nigeria at this level we are, and it's painful. When you have not eaten 1 meal in a day as a Nigerian, and they are talking about trillions they spend on things that don't have effect. So how do we, that's why we are talking where we are talking. If these things are matched gradually and it's slow, we can see, and you are carried along and you have that patriotism and say, this government is taking us somewhere. It's policies are killing and they are too tight on us. That's my one. Bank loans for import hit 3.5 trillion. Punch at the Vanguard shouting headlines. Can you imagine? Bank are loaning for import of fuel in Nigeria, and we are still talking about this amount. Just imagine when you put this amount on Dangote or distributing or just invest this money within on our oil and gas that God has blessed us so abundantly, and we are giving loan to import 3.5 trillion. There was this film I watched. It was about Idi Amin of Uganda, Idi Amin Dada. Those he went to the bank when Uganda was facing a lot of high inflation, and the bank manager said, "His Excellency, Ugandan money is useless. It's as useless as toilet sheet paper." There's a way they call Nigerian money now these days. You'll be imagining as a poor man who has not eaten. When they call the figure, you dizziness will carry you, shake you, understand, and say, "Now this country we there. Are we together?" They call it you borrowing 3.5 trillion to import fuel, and we are still somebody want to justify it, but nobody is looking in. All this money we are using to go and patronize industries. If you put 3.5 trillion inside Nigerian gas and oil within, don't you think Nigeria would have gotten some solutions? So who do this to us? It's like juju. It not be clear ayo. Bank, go ahead, borrow them trillions, let them import fuel, because the marketers and all the people have joined together. They don't want us to breathe. They just want to import, keep importing and telling us, because there's sabotage. They've tested so much money from Nigerian oil and gas, and they don't want to let go. Good luck. So, but I'm just telling you, we are looking at the headlines and this.
Yeah, I mean, there's this particular one. I wonder whether this is part of Wike's, job description, buying cars and building houses for judges. Sarap is asking the federal government to stop Wike from doing that. And very recently, there was an event that the Chief Justice attended that had politicians, all around her. And I saw a tweet from Chidi Odinkalu who says that he wanted to give the Chief Justice a chance, given that she's a woman and she will bring a wealth of experience to the table. But having to attend the meeting where there are politicians around and she's shaking hands with the Lagos State Governor, he doesn't think that that's a good thing for a Chief Justice who is supposed to be delivering, who's supposed to be, be neutral in things that's got to do with politics. Everybody
who denies it doesn't know what is good. It's only being mischievous. If you play with the chicken and the roosters, you always smell of their droplets. When you play with the chickens, chicken shit, you always, on your body and your hands, you smell it. The revered temple of justice all over the world has been made to stay away from politicians. They will always bring you close to mess you up. Why are we talking about, are we not shameful? Are we not feeling shame as Nigerians that this will appear in the headline, that a sitting official in government is donating cars to
judges? And
you will be surprised why all the judgments, if they have 1 million that have favored him over time, and then even the people, the judges, the Chief Justice of Federation, the Attorney Generals, the revered and the honored people, the learned people who the life of common people depend on are being messed up. And I keep telling them, there's nothing you will do for your girlfriend's son to call you back. They will always mess what are they bringing them? That's the only hope. The only arm of governance in Nigeria that could have challenged government. And they sit down and say, like, what do we do to these people? Bring them to party? Bring them close to all your party where they drink livery and they give them gifts. So when you give a judge a gift of a car, house, and then money, What else? Is it not death sentence? And that revered and the cherished angle of our life, that's the law, where people can still go and talk and get justice, is killed. And the politicians with their falutin big stomach will be laughing and they're making mess of you. That's what they will sit together and say, we have gotten them. So for you, the people who are the learned, the eggheads in the justice system, think twice. This is not good for us. It is not good for any nation. To even when we're even announcing and putting it on the headline, we are not even ashamed. And Nigerians, so when people sit down in the, no wonder sometimes somebody described Nigeria and said they are fantastically corrupt people.
Wow.
So if you are fantastically corrupt people, we all share from it. Everybody. I'm not just saying particularly. But we have to rid ourselves of that corruption. Only when we want to be the change that we are preaching. And if you have a chance, you are laughing. I hope you have opportunity, you take a chunk of your own
I'll change things.
National.
I'll change things. I mean,
the way you're talking now, I think you are going somewhere.
I'm a change maker. I'm a change maker.
Because you're almost
Change,
like
yeah.
the way you talk now is like you're talking like the image maker for the image that the federal government is lacking. You are making it for them
I'm a
now,
change
laundering their image on them.
Chris,
But
changes.
we are laundering the image of God. What do we think? It has to get bad before it get better. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Chris Maduka, for that. All right, we'll be taking you through what is happening on the social media. Let's bring you the Internet Watch.